Okay, welcome everybody to Monday Meetup. I'm Crystal Garvin. Most of you know me. I know we opened this up if others wanted to just join in and listen in because we are going to soak in a lot of goodness tonight, and I'm excited about that. And we're recording too, so if you're watching the recording, we're excited that you're taking time to do that because it's going to be well worthwhile. So we have on the call with us tonight Peggy Smith. She is our upline presidential diamond. And she is just so inspiring. And that is one of the reasons, we always brainstorm about what do we want to do this quarter for some of our calls. And we kind of take things as they come if there's topics that are relevant that come up. But we just love Peggy. And she has really been such a force and so consistent. And that is what has been so inspiring because she's an original founder and she is still out there enrolling people, recruiting builders. She is not quit. She has not slowed down, and she is at all the corporate events, and she's just a familiar face that we know someone who's with us in this. And I love that about Peggy, and she's got new, fresh ideas all the time, and she's got people who help her on her team too to get us graphics and different things. And she has really opened up her groups and things so that we can participate. If you don't know where those are, if you happen to be newer or not in her groups, you definitely want to join because she's got some great resources there for us. But I thought I would just open up for those who may be newer or haven't met Peggy, haven't had the pleasure. I would love, Peggy, if you could just open us up to tell us a little of your background about who you were before and how you got involved in doTERRA and just kind of how it has evolved for you. So if you want to just give us a little bit of background on your journey, that would be awesome.
Okay, great. And thank you for inviting me to be on the call tonight. I appreciate that. A lot of times us oldies don't get invited because there's so many sharp new girls around. But you know what? I got married at 23 and um, did not want to go to work. I've never had a real job. I've never worked for anyone. And so I started selling Tupperware. And it was great because that's when, Tupperware was, I mean, oh my word, when I was 23 years old. Okay, that was a whole long time ago. Um, and so that was something I wanted. And they gave you a free car. So I earned a car and that was huge for us. And I was with doTERRA for 28 years and I became a distributor.
What's up?
And I owned a franchise and oh my gosh, I had Tupperware out the zoo. But then it was time for a change and I went to the body shop at home and I helped them with their model and we did spa parties and I did that for 8 years and it was great, but it closed. And I came to a point where, I was praying, God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I really wanted to, at that time, I was 55. All right. Not really a spring chicken, much older than all of you. And I wanted to open a flower shop. I love flowers and succulents and things like that. And the Lord said, no, I want you to join doTERRA. And he gave me the picture of the brown bottle. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to sell anything because that's all I've done. But you know what I found was that this was different. This was so different. And the fact that we were selling health and helping people, that really made a difference for me. And the fact that God wanted me in doTERRA. So I kind of made a deal with him, Justin Harrison. I met him the day that I went in to talk to the owners, and he said to me, hey, you can be a founder. And I go, oh, what's that? And he goes, it's a US founder. Well, in my last company, the body shop, I wanted to be a founder because they got extras, trips and fun and gifts. And I'm into fun. And I just missed it. And so I said, okay, I want to be a founder. And I told Emily, I said, hey, I want to be a founder. And she goes, oh, well, okay, but you have to be a gold by the end of April. And I go, next month? And she goes, uh-huh. And I said, okay. So I went home and I told Dave and I said, if the Lord really wants me to do this, and that is the desire of my heart, I know he'll help me to be a founder. And sure enough, I was the US founder. And I didn't know the comp plan for 8 months. And it really didn't matter because all I had to do was just um, talk to people, recruit people, sign people, teach people. And I didn't know anything myself. So it was pretty crazy. But what happened was I started traveling. My husband, Dave, uh, gosh, it'll be 50 years next year that we've been married. He uh, he has PTSD and quit his job with the government and like 20 years now, I'm not sure. But he went to work at Delta part-time so that I could fly all over. And my first 2.5 years of doTERRA was flying every month somewhere. And I started in Ohio. And holy cow, the Lord blessed my business like crazy. So that's how I got started.
Wow, that is awesome. I love that. Our stories are really similar in some ways. I did, another network marketing company before Arbonne for 8 years so that I could stay home with my children when they were babies. I had no desire to do sales, really thought I was done with that and resisted coming into doTERRA also and really had to pray and get confirmation from the Lord that this was his plan because it was hard for me to believe that's what he wanted me to continue was being in sales. I just did not see myself continuing to do that. But it's been
Oh, I know.
this blessing.
Well, and I don't feel like we're in sales. We are in a life-changing opportunity, you
Mhm.
know? And it's just, it's all your mindset.
Yeah,
So I think mindset and belief is huge in what we
huge. Yes, I
do.
definitely want to talk to you more about that because we're hope dealers, if anything. It's not about selling a product. It's really about changing lives and offering people hope again. And especially what we see metabolically happening in our society and just how people are pitted against each other, just to bring something that brings hope and goodness into people's lives and homes. It really is such a wonderful blessing, and it's amazing to see people light up and realize, oh, there is something that could help me. And that's where I was. I just wanted help with my young kids when they were sick and dealing with things that I didn't want to have to run to the doctor for and those types of things, and didn't realize how many more things it would help my own family with in our health and my extended family. And it just grew from there. And the Lord just kept confirming, you are where I want you. So grew from there. But yeah, mindset and belief are huge. And one of the things I wanted you to kind of touch on is just your relationships. I know you're such a relator and your relationships with your customers. First of all, how do you nurture those relationships? Because I know you have a lot of customers and a huge team. So, what are some things that you do to nurture those relationships?
Well, I have to tell you, I can't type and I didn't know how to text for the longest time. But I learned. And what I did in the beginning was I said to people, I said, tell me how you want me to work with you. Tell me what you want. I learned in Tupperware to have the people talk and you listen. And so I would always try to do a one-on-one in person with someone. And I would have my paper and I would say, okay, so tell me first of all what you want to know because I get excited and I tell them too much. So tell me first off, what do you want to know? And tell me how much money do you want to make? How many hours can you give me each week? And um, do you have management in your background? Because I have 4 full-time management positions in key places, but I have about 10 to 12 part-time.
Mm.
So I want to make sure that I place you in the right spot. So, do you have a 3-year goal? Do you have a 5-year goal? You can't believe the number of people that just look at me and say, What? What? Three? Well, where do you want to be in 3 years? Okay, whatever. So, I work hard with everyone, and something that especially the last 10 years, I tell them, look, I have a lot of people and I'm not a mind reader. I tell them that I am not a mind reader. So you have to tell me what you need. And I need you to tell me, do you want me to push you, pull you, or leave you alone? And I use a 3-ring spiral, and I have their name, and I write down all their answers. And if they say push me, then it's full bore. I know what to do now. Okay. And they've given me permission. So if somebody doesn't show up to something or kind of falls off the wagon, I text them and say, oh, we need to have a chat. It looks like your goals have changed and I need to know what's going on.
Mhm.
So I want to make them accountable. And my girls figure this out. And so they're like, okay, well, I got to be careful what I tell Peggy because I take it literal.
Mhm.
And so the leave you alone though, they get 2 contacts a month. All right. The leave it alone is still 2 contacts a month. So I use Google Contact and I have tons of people in there. I have new people are in there for 3 months. And then I have new leaders. I have people that have upline that are MIA, and I keep them in the loop. And so basically, I teach them how to do a Google contact with their team and I give them what to send out. So we're sending out what's happening at the beginning of the month. And then on the 15th, we're sending out if there is a special, or we're sending out links to training. Okay. So everybody's different, but I really try to keep in touch with them. I don't have a texting system. I'd never figure it out. Um, I just don't know how to do that. Okay. But I can sit and watch TV and send out 60 texts, and it's super easy.
Mhm.
So,
I love that.
did
It's just the
did I answer
simplicity.
the question? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
absolutely. Because whether it's, well, you went into builders too, but customers or builders, you have to listen to their needs. And then I love the things that you said you start out builders. So you got to know their plan and their goals and hold them accountable to it. And it's very much like a job interview, the way you described.
Well,
You
it is.
those same kind
It
of
is.
questions that you would get in a job interview. And people should have those plans and be able to answer those questions and expect accountability, right? And sometimes we don't want to push, but I love that you ask, you want me to push or pull you or leave you alone? Because that's just a great way where you make sure you are nurturing them the way they want to be nurtured and mentoring them the way they need to be mentored. And they're making themselves accountable to you by just answering those questions. So that's fantastic. And then with customers too, just being a good listener to help them meet their, not over communicating, not assuming you know what they need or want.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Well, and I give them expectations. They do have to do certain things in their first 6 weeks, and they do have to have a class so that they're educated. And we have continuing education that I have with one of my diamonds, and um, you just you have to have an expectation because one of the questions too can be, have you ever worked for a company where you felt like you never got any help? Or your upline just kind of left you, or nobody supported you. And see, we don't want them to think that's what we're going to do. We have expectations, we have follow-up, we have continuing education, and then you decide what you want to do.
Hmm. Yeah, get them the education, help them make that informed decision. So, and one
Right.
thing I love about you, as I said earlier, as a leader, you really do set the pace. You are such a great example to your team. What do you personally have as goals for yourself so that you can continue doing that? And has that changed at all over the years?
Well, sure, it's changed. Now my goals are to help all my leaders, my key leaders, to be independently wealthy. I want them to be financially free. I want them to not have debt. Um, and that's hard in some cases, but it's so great when that happens. In the beginning, one of my key leaders had $30,000 worth of credit card debt, and she had two teenage boys, and she's a single mom. And when I said to her, "Hey, you've got to do this with me," she's like, "Oh my gosh, can I have another job too?" And I said, "Absolutely, have two jobs. I don't care. The more people you meet, the more people you come into contact with, the easier it's going to be." But you know what? The Lord, after a couple of months, the Lord, she lost those jobs, and she had to count on her doTERRA. And within, I think it was 3.5 years, she was debt free. Well, it's all good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
And so, yeah. So I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
oh no, that's
But
just how you're well, I
I,
think that because your goal changed from your own personal, independently wealthy, debt-free lifestyle. That's what you want for your leaders. And that's
right.
are setting the example.
Right. And it's not like I have to worry about, and you all should know, I am a presidential diamond in name only. I have not been presidential in 2 years. And you know what? I don't really care. I don't care. I don't need that stigma. Okay. I'm I'm a blue diamond and I'm happy. I have the healthiest unilevel on the planet. Okay. So I don't need that other stuff. And I don't need the the pressure to push by people.
Hmm.
I never want to have to tell someone, "Hey, we've got to get you, you're 3,000 from this so I can make this." Never. All right. So I've always been that way since the beginning. I had to move to Diamond. Nobody told me I needed a fourth leg. And Emily finally said, "Hey, you need to be a diamond." I go, "Why?" And she goes, "Wow, because you've got diamonds." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what's a diamond? What, you need another silver?" I mean, this is how I am. I don't know. I don't even understand the unilevel still, but it doesn't matter. It comes, and I don't need to worry about it. But once I did that fourth leg and we were diamonds for a couple of years, Emily's like, "Hey, you have to be blue." And I go, "Why?" And she goes, "Because all your people are blue." And I'm like, "Oh gosh." So then we had to get another leg. And I did, and we were blue and happy blues for 3 years. And she's like, "Peggy, you have to be a presidential diamond." I go, "I don't want to be." And she goes, "No, you have to be." And I'm like, so I have to be honest with you. I pushed that and it was bad. It was bad news bears. Okay. The girl she did not want it. She wanted to go slow. Emily wanted her to go fast. It didn't work. All right. I was a PD for 2 years and it fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a happy blue diamond. So I just want to get that out on the table. Um, doTERRA lets you have your pin rank, but I'm a paid blue diamond. I've never missed blue diamond, but I'm not a presidential diamond, and it's okay.
Well, that's good. That's so relatable. So many people have had that experience too, and it shouldn't be something we're ashamed of. And Stephanie's saying in the comments she was a proud new silver on her first incentive trip, and a diamond leader said, "Well, I'm only a diamond." And it just made her feel so deflated, sitting at silver. And so, yeah, we don't need to focus on that rank. That's not what it's all about.
Well,
Absolutely.
God will promote you, okay? And a silver sometimes makes more money than a diamond, let me tell you. All right. So you need to have your focus on your team, not you.
Hmm.
What are your teammates? Okay, are they happy with what they are?
Yeah, what
Leave
are
it on. I get so crazy sometimes.
Oh no, that's wonderful. Yeah, what are their goals and helping them reach their goals? That's so critical. And really the most caring thing that you can do. So what year did you actually join doTERRA?
I joined the end of March 2009.
Okay, so 2009.
So I brought 32 people on that last week of March.
Wow.
They all bought tickets, and then we put them all together and then they all had to have a loyalty order. I didn't understand that. They called it auto ship. And they had to have that in April so that I could be a gold.
Wow. That's tremendous. So doTERRA wasn't even a year old.
No, no.
Okay, so
The end of April was the
15
end of
years.
the year, and they had 25 spots the first year for founder.
Okay, wow. So 15 years after all that time, how do you still continue to find new customers and potential builders? I know this comes up all the time with people after they've been in a while, right?
Well, I tell you what, I love recruiting people on airplanes. And everywhere I go, I always make sure that I have my logo something on. I was just flying back from Salt Lake yesterday, and I'm sitting in first class, and there's a big line of people. And this lady sees I had my brand new puffy vest on because I didn't have room in my luggage at convention. So I was wearing it home. And she's like, "Are you with doTERRA?" And I go, "Yeah." And I mean, she's in line to go sit down, you know? And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure." And she says, I have a friend that buys doTERRA on Amazon. That's really not good, is it? And I said, "Well, it probably is not good. It's really best if she just gets her own free account. Does she know that you can just get a free account? Here, let me give you my card and you can give it to her and you need to use it too." So this is what I carry, all right? This is my card. And it's so simple and it has my name and all my stuff. It has my QR code. And I just hand these out left and right. And and she's like, "Oh, okay." So now I didn't get her information. That was not good, but there was no time. So the guy sitting next to me, when we're getting ready to leave, he sees the doTERRA on my briefcase and he's like, "Oh, I have a friend that used to work for doTERRA." And I go, "Oh, okay." He goes, "Do you work for them?" And I go, "No, I'm an independent contractor. I have a team." And he goes, "Oh, wow. Well, you know what? I have trouble sleeping. Do you have something for that?" I go, "Absolutely. Let me give you my card. We have a sleep system, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Before I can give you this, you have to put your information in my phone." So I just pulled up my phone, had him put his information in. And I said, "Hey, if you text me within 48 hours, I'll send you free samples."
Nice. I love it. So simple, right? We overcomplicate things so much
I
sometimes.
know, no, and it really helped to wear my logo vest.
hmm I love that. I always
In
have.
the beginning, I always wore a name tag.
Yeah.
And people would say, "What's doTERRA?" And
hmm
oh, I know, isn't it funny? It means gift of the earth. It's God's gift to us to help us to be healthy. And they're like, "Oh," and that's what I always said.
Great. Well, that is fantastic. Yeah, so wearing your logoed items and just being friendly and open everywhere you go. There's new people all around us, right? But we can sometimes get those blinders on and just see our warm market or the people we've already got and think there's nobody left, but there's always more people. Um,
Well, you have to carry your stuff. You have to carry your trifolds from the DMK. I have caboodles of them and I carry them everywhere. And you have to go and look for people. When I'm at the bank, when I'm at the grocery store, I look for people, people with children, people with babies. I go up to ladies with babies and say, "Oh, your babies are so darling," or whatever. And I'll bet you're a mom that wants all natural products. Would it be okay if I gave you my flyer? We've got some amazing baby products and we teach free classes. And I get lots of moms that way, especially in coffee shops.
Hmm.
So, you know what? It's yes or no. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I'm not scary most of the time. And they think, oh, here's this old lady, um, asking me about this. And I'm like, it doesn't matter to me. It's yes or no.
Yeah. Well, and when you're looking for future builders or, team members that you're working with, are there certain attributes or characteristics that you really look for or that you like to see when you're
Oh,
coaching?
absolutely. Absolutely. I want to work with people that are honest, that have integrity, that do what they say. I don't want people that are looking for a quick buck. When
Hmm.
people say, "Oh yeah, I want to be making lots of money," you know, in 6 months, can I make 10,000 in 6 months? And I said, no, probably not. I did 10,000 in 10 months, but I doubt it if you could. And I just don't want people like that. So if they want to join, I I give them to other people that like people like that. I don't. I really, I always pray that the Lord, and I did this from the beginning, I always prayed that He would not send me a lot of people, but just send me the right people. I
That's,
didn't need a lot of people because I don't need drama and I don't need issues.
mhm.
And I like to surround myself with people that know more than I do, and most of them do.
That's awesome.
Like Tanya's on here. Tanya Cotterill is amazing. She has the mind I would love to have. She is so smart and she's so cute. And you know what? I just don't have that, but it's okay. I um I have other attributes that she doesn't have, but I do like to look for people that I like. I like to, I always ask people too, um, and they always kind of laugh. I say, if you were at a Thanksgiving dinner and it was at your house, and you just finished and you've got a lot of people there, are you going to sit with the people or are you going to jump up and clean?
Mm.
Then I find out if they're task oriented or people oriented. Then I know how to take care of them.
Mhm. That's good. That's a great
And a
question.
lot of times they say, well, Peggy, what are you? I go, oh, I'm total people. My husband can clean up.
That's awesome. Well, do you happen to
But
know some of your top strengths? Because Stephanie said that, and I thought about that earlier too. I was wondering, put you on the spot if you know any of your top strengths, because that's always just a fun thing to know about leaders.
oh, sure, my top five. Well, my top one is communication. I don't know. I don't understand that. Um, maybe that means I talk a lot. Um, but number two is oh gosh. Number three is strategic. Oh, number two is includer.
Oh,
Number three is strategic. And number four is I don't remember, but number five is woo.
oh yeah, totally see that. Yeah.
So I want to include everybody. I want to
Win people
uh
over, and yeah. But I love
yeah.
that it's not everyone, the right people. And that's really smart as far as knowing your own limitations and who's going to work well with you. I think sometimes we
Right.
we think, well, I just need so many people. I need everybody, and it can be drama, like you said.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
so Tara was always amazed that our teams never
you,
had drama. I
I know
just
that is
didn't
amazing.
know.
You have such a diverse team, like you said, people with different strengths, different things that they know a lot about that have worked well together with you. So that is amazing that you haven't had a lot of drama. But
Well, I've had some, not a lot of drama.
well, I know you've had, everyone has issues, but yeah, I think it speaks to your leadership too. And I know you've led your team lot of change in 15 years. I mean, there's a lot of changes that have happened in the company and in society and all kinds of things. So, are there certain things that have helped you kind of lead people through those changes, kind of without all the drama or people freaking out, or how do you do that with transitions?
Well, I think the first thing is my leaders know what to expect from me and they trust me. So this trust takes a long time. And if I don't know something, I'll tell them, but I'll also say, you know what? I trust in the company. And I feel like this is a good thing for us. We need to go with it. Um, I, you know, I wrote down some good stuff. Where did I put it here? Um, Sometimes, and there have been some big changes, and well, especially in the world, my goodness, COVID and all the lies and the fear, and um, I pray with a lot of people, and I want them to understand that they're looking at it in a different way, and let's try this way. And it is hard. And you know what? I have had people say, well, you know what, Peggy, I'm done. And I say, okay, well, are you done for all of time or can I check back with you in a couple months?
Mm-hmm.
And and that's what you need to say when people say no. Is it no for now or no for never? Because I'm going to put you in my phone because I like you. I want to work with you.
I just love
See,
that because I think so many times when people say no, we just shut down and want to run away because we feel defeated.
oh, yeah. They're just saying no because they're afraid. I mean, it doesn't matter. And I just say no for now, no for never. And they smile and they go, no, not never. And I say, okay, I'm putting you in my phone. Should I call you in 2 months or 3 months? Call
Mhm.
me in two. No, call me in 6 months. Okay, it's
That's amazing.
gonna happen.
Yeah,
Come
because
and
it's
I'm
timing
home.
change, things change for everyone. So it could just not be the right time right now, right? And
Well, people, the seasons change.
Mhm.
And I have a lot of people that came on as customers and, did not want to share or learn or do any of that. And their spouses die, they get a divorce, they lose their jobs, they need money, and now they're ready to come back in. And if I lose contact with them, then I've lost them.
Yeah, yeah, that's so
And
true.
so it's always and with a phone, are you kidding? It's so easy to put them on your calendar.
Hmm.
And I tell them to put me in their calendar. And then a week before, I text them. And because I always look ahead, because I use a paper calendar and a book calendar. I have three calendars. And and then I have my spiral. So I text them and I think of something cute. I say, hey, I'm so excited. I'm going to be calling you next week. And you're going to be so excited because we have the new holiday product starting. So it starts November 1st. We could run out. So if you want me to call you early, you better let me know.
Hmm. That's a great reminder right now. Holiday
Yes,
products coming out and they won't last long.
that's right. So I create the desire for them to wonder what we're doing. And I noticed there's a brand new ebook with the VMG. And oh my gosh, that's awesome. So while I was waiting today online, while I was on the phone waiting for a doctor's appointment, and I just texted it out to I don't even know how many people. And I have to get knee injections. I have arthritis really bad in my knees. So I'm not sick, but I do have arthritis in my knees. So once a year I get those.
Okay, so good. You use that time wisely. Well, that's
Yeah.
well. I know that this was a topic you touched on, just the mindset. But what would you say to a builder who is really struggling with belief, maybe because of changes with products or the company, or just their own personal issues, and they're really struggling with belief? What are some ways to coach them through that?
Well, the first thing I should know this person because I should have a relationship with them. If I don't, I'm going to find out what. what is their stall? What is stalling them? Is it the company? Is it the product? Is it them? Are they having problems in their marriage? What is contributing? Because there's usually something that contributes to the belief. After COVID, a lot of people were just like paralyzed and they thought they could never do a class again. And of course, that's normal. But I think we have to decide and help them what learn what do you want? What maybe you need a break. Do you need a break from the company? Would it help you? Now, I've coached a couple of diamonds that are now golds, and they're like, Peggy, I just can't do it. I say, okay, I'll make a deal with you. Let's put you on hold for 3 months. But during those 3 months, you will continue to send out every text that or every email that I send you. I want to see your Google contacts, and a lot of times they haven't even made it. And so put your people in a Google contact so that I send you the email at the first of the month and on the 16th of the month, because I want your people getting what's going on. And another thing is if they're a leader, they better have their people in my Facebook group.
Mhm.
A lot of leaders get all excited at silver and they start a Facebook group, and it is so time consuming. And that's a big mistake. I tell people until you have three solid builders helping you, you don't need a Facebook. You might want a customer page, but you do not need a Facebook. I pay Kenzie. We have amazing stuff in our Facebook. She does all the stuff, and I do challenges and we do stuff. So let somebody else do that for you. If you want to add stuff to it, that's great. But your people need to be in my Facebook. And you know what I found? People that lose their belief, they are just tired of overworking.
Mhm.
They're so exhausted
Mhm.
and they never take a break. They never take a self-care day. If you're not getting a massage twice a month, shame on you. You need to take care of yourself. You can write off these massages. It's a consultation. Come on. I recruit every massage therapist I go to.
Mhm.
Them a bottle of half a bottle of Aroma Touch. It works, and then I leave it with them, and I follow up with them, and they always get an account because I tell them you can't do this forever. You see, I'm sorry, I'm getting off.
No, no.
Um, but
You
if
have to go
you're
to a
not,
different massage therapist every time, though, right? So you can keep
I
the.
do. I go to them all over the place. I have a regular one, and she has an account, but no, I'm usually traveling, so I'm going in other cities.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
So
But you're
but the thing
right that a
the
lot of
thing
people
is,
with
if
belief.
you don't take care of yourself, nobody else will.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then and let me tell you, write this down. If if your leaders see you running around all the time with your hair on fire or whatever, do
Hmm.
you think they want your job? Heck no.
Hmm.
Don't want your job. And don't let them call you whenever they feel like it. None of my leaders call me. They text me and say, "Can we schedule something? I have a crisis. Can we talk? Are you free?" Nobody calls. I don't want to have to be answering my phone all the time,
Hmm. So you have really
right?
good boundaries, and that's what I think some of the things you've said that people don't have when they get burned out
Yes,
or struggle. They don't have those good boundaries, and they
that's
haven't been nurturing themselves. Maybe they haven't even been doing personal development, which is so important
oh
for
my,
and tapping into things like this, where we're encouraging each other, leader to leader,
yeah.
and also reinventing the wheel, creating all this stuff that we don't need to. Now, back when I started corporate, didn't have much of these materials. We didn't have a DMK, but I look at it now, none of my uplines had Facebook groups as far as I knew. So I had to start my own. None of that's true anymore. We have so many resources to plug into, and it can save you so much time and energy just to plug into those things. And that
Yes.
time and energy is precious, and it will drain your belief if you're using that all up by noon every
Oh
day.
my gosh, yes. And then if you are tired and then your people start whining and they're tired and they're just misery loves company. And so then they're like, then they stop working. And then you really are in a pickle. So, I make sure I travel somewhere once a month. And like when I was just in Salt Lake, I was at Lil's house for the workshop. We had a blast. And at lunchtime, we ran out and got some Mexican food and went to Justin's office and watched the rest of it with him. And oh my gosh, it was so fun. And he told us all kinds of secrets and things. And so I'm all excited again. And so you have to do exciting things because if you're always doing the same thing,
Yeah.
but when you have a leader sending out these emails and the people are getting educated and I will text and call some of the people and that gets them excited because I'm helping them. And
Mhm.
I do Zooms for some of these teams that need help because the leader's, not doing it. And I would say 95% of the time, the leader gets some rest, they get reinvigorated, and they come back and get back to work.
Yeah.
And I always just remind them, hey, if you're ready to throw in the towel, that'll be fine. Let's just turn all your enrollments over to me, and your team will roll up to me, and that will be just fine.
Yeah, that's good. Giving them, here's your choices. These are the options you have.
We don't want to do that.
Nobody wants to do that, right? Hardly ever.
That you are cracking me up. I'm like busting out. You
Listen,
say it so like in the best. I was like, I need that tone.
I know her
That's
tone is
fine.
so
oh,
You can
let
just
me
sweet.
cut her
give me all
up.
your enrollments. I love it. I love it.
You do have the most
But
soothing,
it's true.
right? I think that in itself builds trust. Just that tone that's like everything's going to be okay. It's just so calm and soothing. I have the answer you need, right?
Well, I have to tell you early on, gosh, this was 12 years ago, maybe. Um, I had this gal I had recruited, and she was going and doing well. And she was just kind of a whiner, though. And she was platinum and she was very close to diamond. And I was helping her. I actually gave her a really solid leg. And um, she is in between me and another gal, and this gal says, "Oh my gosh, she's whining, complaining constantly. She told me today she's going to quit." And I said, "Oh, that's wonderful. You call her and tell her it's fine if she quits because all those people will roll right up to you and you are ready to take care of them." And do you know this gal? Oh
Great.
my gosh, I thought she was going to come unglued, and she shut up and she got back to work, and she got to her rank and higher. So, you know what? People are just going to be like, do not let people hold you hostage. All
Hmm.
right. And you are going to love, 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 love some of the new changes that you will hear at um, leadership next year. Get your ticket. Do not miss leadership. You will be, I'm getting chills thinking about it. Oh my gosh.
Well, obviously, I know corporate events are really important to you because you are always there, and it's always so wonderful just to know we're going to see you there. But also, what are some partnerships you've developed, some things that have had a really big impact, whether that's cross-line, corporate? What do you recommend as far as networking in a way that really impacts you and your business?
Well, I think it's really important to have solid cross-line people that are equal to you, that have no, they're not going to gain anything. Lil, Shepherd, Wendy, James, Justin, we're all buds and we strategize, we help, we support, we tell each other when we're screwing up. It's good, it's healthy. And I think everybody needs that. You can't do that with your downline.
Mm,
You can only do it with an upline. And I think those relationships are so important. I have a very close relationship with Emily Wright.
mm.
I can tell her when she's being a poo head.
Love that. That is great. Yeah, we need those cross line, up line, whatever relationships we
Yeah. Yeah.
like the people who are in a similar place to us. That's really
Yeah. And it's great. Um, I mean, I'm old and I'm older than all of the owners, obviously. And but it's great to build these relationships. And I have very close relationships with my leaders. I have key leaders that I can talk to about anything.
Mhm.
And so I think it's important. You never want to complain to leaders. That's always upline,
Mhm.
um, because that can move so quickly and cause a bonfire, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
But I think relationships are so, uh, it's like you, Crystal. I met you years ago. I remember that meeting room in Raleigh, North Carolina. And that was one of the times I was flying out on free Delta flights, and I met you. I think you were very young in the business.
Very new.
And
My first like corporate anything. And
yeah,
Laura
and I
got
thought
into
to
that and a couple
myself,
of
wow, you are going to be a top leader. And, I really did. I'm not close to you. I don't live close to you, but I love you. I love the way you lead. I love the way you work, and I love your ethics. And it's just like, I love Ramona. I love Twinka, as crazy as they are. And Stephanie Cutterer, I met her, I think, in Nashville. I didn't even know she was on my team. And I'm like, how did I not know this diamond was in my group? But you know what? That's the way it is. We have so many awesome people.
Mhm.
And but I think those relationships are so important. And honestly, I do not know what most of my leaders' ranks are. I do not know their rank. They are people and they're leaders. And I don't know their ranks in most cases, unless they're my qualifier.
Yeah. Wow, I love that. You just really get to the heart of it. Well, I wanted to open it up for some Q&A if others had questions. So if you have any, you can let us know. There's a couple in the chat here. One, Michelle asked, how do you offer continuing education and how do you track that, if at all? So for your continuing
Okay.
ed, what is that like?
All right. Well, honestly, I don't do it anymore. I used to, but I partner with a couple of teams. Christy Ream does an amazing job. She's one of my frontline diamonds and my best friend. And I've helped her with all her leaders, and they're amazing trainers. So we use her continuing ed. She has a whole system, and Kenzie would know. So because Kenzie helps her also. And Elizabeth Copeland, I work closely with her and her team, and they also have continuing ed. So Jen Kruba also has continuing ed. So most of my key leaders have their own. And so I have smaller teams that we're working with, and we connect them with one of these gals.
Okay, that's good. And we have some continuing ed, and we've plugged into other teams' continuing ed also. So those are always
Yeah.
available for our team
I
as
think that's great because we all learn from different people.
well. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Felicia asked, what would you do talking about a builder who says they want to quit? And what if they quit, but they won't turn over their enrollments? What would you do in that situation, even though you said, well, okay, you can quit, just turn over your enrollments, but they refuse?
Well, I would get doTERRA involved. And I would have her tell me in an email so that I have a paper trail.
Hmm.
And everything has to be in a paper trail. And I don't think I would have that happen because of the relationships I have with people.
Yeah, you're just very
See,
open and honest, transparent. You value
it
those.
all, yes, it all comes back to that. And I tell my gals, I mean, I really want to find out, why do you want to quit?
Mm.
Why? Why would you give this up? Now, if they have nothing, I can understand that. All right. Um, in the future, we won't have to worry about that. It's so exciting.
Oh,
So just keep working.
okay, there's a hint. There's a little hint. Okay, good.
You are just going to be so happy.
That's great. Well, who else
We're
has?
not going to have anybody holding us hostage for
Yeah,
anything.
love that. Who else has a question for Peggy while we have just a few more minutes of her time? Anybody have anything pop up that you'd love to just pick her brain about or ask her? Yeah, something's coming. People are excited to have that little hint.
Well,
Anybody?
so I want to challenge all of you to get a Google contact, okay? If you have a Google, if you have Gmail, I guess it's really easy. I don't know if you can use it if you don't have Gmail, but you just type in your search bar Google contacts, and your contacts will show up. They will populate, and you can edit them and just make columns or headings. So I have lots of teams that I work closely with in Utah. So I have Utah um, people and Utah leaders. So when I go to Utah, I send them a quick ahead of time. If I'm going to do an event, I say, "Hey, I'm doing an event at the clubhouse at my home, and it's here. This, let me know if you can come." And then we make sure we schedule it, and then I send it out to all the Utah people. It's 10 minutes. It's so quick. Now, if I had to stop and run a report or call people or look people up or whatever, it would be a nightmare. So I have Colorado people, I have Utah people, and that's all I have really because that's the two places I live. And so if you have your people at your fingertips, so what if you have a Google contact for all your possible signups, people that haven't signed up yet?
Maybe
All
be
right.
hold or yeah, talk to.
Yes, and they've agreed to let you contact them.
Hmm.
So I do the first time I send it out, I say, and actually I look through it. I the way you do it is you go into your email and then you type in the blind copy. You never do where everybody can see it. Okay. In the blind copy, I type in possible signups and it just populates and pops up. And there are some people I know it's not time to contact them. So I'll just go in and X them out.
Hmm.
All
Yeah.
right. Or if I see somebody, oh, she's already joined, I need to move them. All
Hmm.
right. So then I may be sending to, 32 people.
Hmm.
And I'm telling them that now is the best time to join because people are going to be sick. They're going to need products to help them get well, and they're going to want to buy them from you. And here's my Master Club code. And here are all the extra gifts you can get when you get an account. And remember, I just want you to try it for 3 months.
Hmm.
I tell everybody, I just want you to try it for 3 months.
Yeah. That's so smart. And so having some kind of system, tracking your contacts, putting them in categories. I know
Yeah.
various people use different contact management systems, but start that if you haven't for sure, so that it is easy. It is at your fingertips where you can send a message to different groups of people that it applies to quickly. So don't make it more difficult on yourself by waiting. The longer you wait, the more people you'll have.
Right. It took me 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
bet you
two
have a
weeks.
lot of people. Well, that's just,
Well, and I
just
can't type.
been just gold. Oh, and Reed recommended the Boundaries book, the Henry Cloud book. If anybody hasn't read that, there's an updated version, the best book on boundaries. If that's something that you struggle with, I know people were chiming in saying, yes, the Boundaries book, you've got to read that, the Henry Cloud and John Townsend book. And there's one specifically for leaders too, which Tanya gifted to me at a point when she saw that I needed it. So I'm thankful for that wisdom because yeah, we all need that. So that was a great recommendation there. And Michelle asked about a contact management system that most seem to use. So Peggy's talking about Google Contacts. I don't know if there's a consensus on one that most seem to use or not. I know some of us have used Project Broadcast. I use, a different thing from newsletters than most people do. It's just one that I like that works well for me. There's so many options out there. So if anybody has other things that they like to use, you could just type it in there. Social Fox is a popular one, Constant Contact. There's just so many now. But you can start, like she said, if you have Gmail, have a Google account, you can start with just organizing it in your contacts, within your Gmail. You can go to that. So that's a great way to start. Stephanie uses
Well,
Shout.
and the DMK has you can you can make a newsletter in the DMK. It takes minutes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
you can pop that
You
in email. And I have a couple of people that don't, well, they're older and they don't have computers and things. So I just pop that and print it and get it in the mail to them. And they get it by about the 6th of the month and they know what all the specials are.
That's so smart. Yeah. Yeah, I like to make mine. I like doing that type of thing. And that was part of my background, writing and design, paper
Mhm.
design and things. So
Mhm.
I enjoy it. But when I was in Africa, I usually do not travel over the last day of the month, the first day of the month, but I couldn't avoid since team, and that's what worked for people. And so I just used one of those pre-made ones that I just didn't have the access to the internet and my computer and everything. So those are
Sure.
great to just pull off, the ones that doTERRA provides for us. And I sent that out instead, and it worked great. So I could do that even without much internet service or a good phone signal, even in Africa. So those are pre-made for us. There's so many tools and resources available to us now, and they're continuously adding more. So that is such a helpful thing to use and not to spend all our time recreating things. But this has
Yes.
just been delightful. So thank you so much, Peggy. We appreciate your time and love having you, love seeing you at events and your group. Again, for people who may not be in that, do you want to remind people what groups you have?
Yes, I have Success Express Pipeline. That is our main group, and that is, some people think that's for builders. It is not. It is for everyone. Recognition, that's where we put all of our stuff. And then we also have Success Express Q&A, and that is the product page that you can ask questions. All right. And protocols and things like that. We don't want you asking medical questions on the pipeline. We want it hidden in the Q&A.
Okay, so the Q&A group is for product questions, and these are
Mhm.
both on Facebook. And then the pipeline group, you said that is for customers also?
It's for customers, for sharers, for leaders, because I pay Kenzie to put tons of stuff in that all week long, and you get to take whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We subscribe to OneDrop. We have Canva. We have all kinds of calendar stuff. We have all kinds of stuff. And so it's there for
Take things
you.
from that group and put it in our customer group. That's great to,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
and you can ask
Yes.
your upline to add you if you're not in Peggy's groups and you can't find,
Right.
ask one of your upline leaders. Most of us are in there. You can message one of us if you need help finding those.
Yes, because the pipeline is a closed group and you can only invite someone if you are friends with them.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. So yes, make sure to
The
like
Success
the
Express, the other one, you have to answer questions before you
yeah.
get in. We want to know who you are.
Okay. Well, thank you for opening that up for us, and thank you for giving us an hour of your time tonight. It's so appreciated. I know people are inspired, and I just love getting to know you better. So we will see you at leadership. I guess that's the next big thing we can look forward to.
Yes, unless you become a blue diamond and I see you in December at the summit.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. And you are going to be at the Denver event also, right?
I
So,
am, and I will be at the founders event in January at
okay.
doTERRA if
Oh,
anyone is a founder 2.0.
okay. Well, look for Peggy, take a picture with her, and she's just such a joy and delight. So thank you so much, Peggy. We've loved having you.
Well, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
All
Love
right.
you.
Good, everybody.